What's up? It's Vaha here again, and today we'll be doing something a little bit different. Now, yesterday I've actually released an image on a few photography groups and on my social media accounts. And clearly, a lot of people have actually liked what I have done. So there were a few of you guys who actually demanded that I make a YouTube tutorial about it. And this video, I'm responding to exactly just that. So today we will be editing the photo, one of the pictures that I've taken with my camera, and we will also be showing you what exactly do I do, the process and everything. But we will not be doing this in Photoshop. We will be doing this in something known as Affinity Photo. So before we get started, let me show you how exactly to get Affinity Photo, and let's talk about a little bit about the options that they have. All right, so over here, let's actually go here. Okay, so this is an empty Google Chrome tab. So let's just go Affinity Photo over here. Okay, you press on the button here. This will take you to the website which has Affinity Photo. As you can tell, it's a really good software. It's actually a professional software dedicated to compete with Photoshop. And the selling point of Affinity Photo is the fact that this one actually does not come with monthly subscriptions. You pay once, the equivalent of about 5 months of Photoshop, which is 10 bucks an hour, 10 bucks a month times five. So you pay 50 US dollars only once, and you get to keep the software forever based on your account. So this is mainly the selling point of Affinity Photo and why I've chosen it over Photoshop, excluding the fact that majority of the really advanced stuff that Photoshop has, which 99% of us doesn't use anyway, has been eliminated from Affinity Photo, and they have improved in other ways which I genuinely like. So let's actually keep scrolling down. And as you can see here, any device anywhere, you see, as I have told you here, no subscription, you only pay once and you get it. So this is 229.9 Malaysian ringgits, which is approximately 50 to 55 US dollars. And before you actually can download, you have a free trial version, which is exactly the same as the full version. The only thing is, in the free trial version, you only have 10 days to make a decision of whether you want to buy the software or not. So after 10 days, it's going to stop working if you don't buy it. You can buy it for either Mac, Windows, or iPad. There's no Android or any mobile applications as far as I know right now. But I'm a Windows user, so I have already bought it on Windows, and we have the software right here. So let's actually now get to the nitty-gritty part of this tutorial, which is over here. So just give me a minute. We'll stop sharing the screen here. And let's actually reshare the folder where everything is being done. So here's the share button here. All right, the image is actually stored here. So these are taken on the Canon EOS 90D, as you can tell. This is the raw image. After you have already installed Affinity Photo, you want to right click, open with Affinity Photo. You don't have to go through all of the manual settings that you need to do at first when you're making a new canvas, and all this is just automatically for you. It's a really good option to exist right now. All right, so over here we have the image. So I'm pretty sure that you could not see it right now since I need to stop the sharing. Now we need to reshare the screen over here. Okay, so over here, as you can tell, we already have the image, which is this kind of image. So from the get-go, the very first thing that I would usually do is actually split it over here. So this is what they call as a mirror view, and then you have the split view and the single view. So for mirror view, this is the after. So if you add on any effects, this is what you're gonna see, and this is the before. So this is permanently the exact same image, doesn't change no matter what. It's only there for you to be able to compare the differences between both photos. And then you have over here the split view. So basically, you could literally just move it around or move the image itself, or you can move around the slider if you are precise enough. So if you keep sliding it here, then it will keep showing you the before, so you will get to see this image in the end. But then if you keep sliding it to the after, you can slowly see it as it changes. This is a really cool thing to play around with, but only after you already have done some editing. And over here, you have what they call the single view. So this is just basically the image as you edit it, but I like to play around with the mirror view, and this is my personal preference. And over here, in terms of the zoom, for me, 10% is perfectly fine, but you could literally just play around with the slider. You can zoom in, you can zoom out. For me, 10%, like I mentioned, is perfectly fine. Now let's get to the editing part, the really interesting stuff of this video. First thing I would want to do is actually increase the exposure a little bit. So as you could tell earlier, it was incredibly dark. I think that I've chosen like the wrong settings for the camera. So I think I'll try 1.2. Now that's a little bit way too bright. Yeah, 1.1 seems pretty good to me. And then we have the black point over here. This makes it a whole lot brighter. This makes it darker. This literally reverses everything that we were trying to do earlier. So I think for the black point, I will go with, yeah, about 2% seems nice to me. And then we have the brightness over here. All right, this is incredibly dark. This is incredibly bright. You know what? I think I'll go for something like 3%. Yeah, 3% of brightness looks fine to me. And then we actually leave the exposure area and we will go to the enhance. And in case you're wondering, there's nothing in the preset here. So for the enhance, if you actually try to increase the contrast, it will darken things up a little bit. Try to increase it, it will really brighten everything up. And over here, yeah, I think somewhere of about 6 or yeah, 7% looks nice to me. It's not too bright, but we don't want it to be way too dark either. You get the idea? So yeah, around 8% looks fine to me. And then the clarity, which is literally just the sharpness slider. So if you bump this up, you'll notice over here that this is like a whole lot sharper, as you could probably tell over here. It's going to be a whole lot sharper than, yep, this is very sharp, definitely. Earlier I wasn't telling, and this is mainly because the engine is still a little bit slow, probably. Nope. Somewhere of about 70% seems fine to me. Next time I'm hitting it 69.42. Anyway, and then we have the saturation, which is basically how saturated you want the image to be. So super red, super black. This really works well if you want something black and white, but I'm not a big fan of black and white, so I'm not doing it right now. Well, I haven't really messed around with it that much, so there's that. And personally, for me, I think I'll keep it like that because I want something a little bit of reddish pink, maybe a little bit orange. Like I want something which is of heat. I don't want something which is like cold purple rush hour or something like that. I just want something which is a little bit hot. And then you have vibrance over here, which is how vibrant your image will be. So over here, I think I will probably keep it at something close enough to what we had earlier. So yeah, I think 43% should be fine. Yep. All right, and then we have white balance over here. Here it's at 4,935. If you increase this, as you can tell, it gets really red up to 25,000 Kelvin. And if you decrease it to 2,000 Kelvin, it gets really blue, but we do not want any of the extreme ends. So we'll go for something more like 5,200. Yeah, 5,200 seems nice to me. Or you want, let's actually try increasing this. Now this is just way too much right now. 5,150. Nope. 5,200. Yeah, that looks really good to me. And then the tint, yeah, that is really pink. Definitely, I don't want anything which is like over tinted. I would say no, don't go green. Yeah, about 32% looks nice to me, especially for something that we want, which is a little bit reddish and warm. And over here, the shadows, I could tell, I don't want it to be like overexposed, definitely not that far, but I do not want it to be underexposed, which is that end either. So something more of like, I don't know, like 35%, I think. Let's check this out, 35%. Yeah, that looks good to me. Kind of like that one. All right, so over here we have the highlights. So as you can probably notice, like gets a little bit darker when you scroll out. And the main thing that you will notice when the highlights are low is actually the clouds. They have a whole lot more character, which is exactly one of the tricks that have really helped for me. So for me personally, I do not want it to be like negative 100%. Like I do not want it to be extremely dark. So about negative 95% will be really good, especially that we will be adding some extra colors later on. This is the output profile, which is sRGB, so it allows it to be modified in Photoshop and a lot of other software, but we're gonna leave that for now. I'll show you how exactly to get that when we come to the export point, just in case you don't have it. And then after here, usually I never touch this section because first of all, like when I've touched it earlier, my recording crashed, so I'm not willing to touch that right now, but these are basically just some changes that you could do for your lens. So the horizontal basically just tilts it horizontally, vertical the same vertically, distortion zooms it in and out, more like a fisheye effect. And then you have a whole lot more other engine like options that you could choose: the vignette, the post-rock vignette, the remove the lens, chromatic aberration, etc., etc. Not gonna touch this section right now. So let's actually start here. So over here, we want to go into the details. So let's first of all increase the amount of the detail refinement. It's basically like how much you want it to be refined, but you're not gonna see anything change because we haven't modified the radius yet. But when we modify the radius a little bit, you will slowly start to notice that there are some details which are being refined. And again, just play around with the slider. So personally for me, I think I'm not going to keep the radius that big. I'll definitely decrease it to somewhere of about like, I don't know, about 70% seems fine to me. Again, subtle changes, you may or may not like them. And then you have the noise reduction over here. So I have tried playing this before, but I just didn't see any effects. So fingers crossed, maybe in this image we will see some effects of noise reduction. Luminance, if you try to increase it, there's not much really, and I have no idea what this does over here. Or maybe I have just forgotten what we leave it at 55%. The details, I think that they can be increased a little bit. 70% maybe. Contribution, this is just how much it contributes. So yeah, well, the reflect is 100%. And then colors of the luminance will remain the same at 20%. Again, I really didn't see any changes, so there is that one little problem. And now for noise, additionally, if you want to add some noise, just watch for now, okay? So if you want to add some noise, you will slowly notice, you could see all of the grains that are coming up over here, really making it noisy, and you could even make it colored. So these are red, green, and blue colored grains, RGB, the three colors that get injected into the computer. And you can even turn off the Gaussian, which is like a mathematical calculation. Totally forgot about that. But for the intensity of the noise, I just want it to be like so suddenly you might actually notice that it's a little bit noisy, but the average I can really tell. So I'll just keep that 3%. That seems nice to me. And now let's actually go to the curves. Oh, and keep in mind, like we haven't hit the develop button yet. Okay, so just don't mess this part up. All right, so yeah, over here, we want this a little bit, well, not too dark, but you don't want it to be way too bright either. Like I actually kind of like that one, but there's just way too much light going on there. But I don't want it to be way too dark either. Like I want it to be something like that. This is just a master. Like then you could actually modify the red, green, and blue individually. So if you go down with the red, then you're losing out. If you go up again above the like midline, then it's a whole lot reddish, and below it just gets greenish. You can see the green for comparison. For me personally, I just wanted to, well, basically just stay where it is. I don't want to really change it. I'm kind of actually enjoying doing this as well right now. And for the green, it's the same thing. If you go here, it will lose to the red. There's just a whole lot more red because there's not enough green to cover up compared to the red line that is. And if you go over here above the master, then it will really get greenish because there's just way too much green. But I think I will just keep that, I don't know, like more like here maybe. Yeah, here is nice. Here is nice. How about blue? No, that is just way too much for the colors right now. Hey, you know what? I actually kind of like that. And okay, now that we're done with all of these, for me personally, this is exactly how I would want it. At least if you look compared to what it used to look like, this is a whole lot better. And then comes that black and white. Basically, if you want your image to be black and white, you turn this on and start playing with all of the settings that they have, red, green, blue, cyan, magenta, and yellow. These are all the colors, but again, I'm not interested in black and white. Split toning over here. Here's the thing about split toning, you'll never be able to see the hue values until you actually modify the saturation. And the balance is just how exactly they are being balanced and spread around the image. So for me, let's actually increase the saturation a little bit, as you could tell, because the hue is on red. It will get reddish in the sky, but I do like the red, but I want it a little bit more of a warm orange, maybe a little bit of a yellow. So there is that. And for this, I do not want it to be like way too much. I just want it to be a little bit subtle. Something of about, 25% still too much. Tell you what, something more like 18% is nice to me. We're definitely not gonna make this right. I think we will make this a little bit orangish yellow. So over here is nice. 60%, nope. 50. Now that is just way too yellow for me. Turn that down. You know what? I think I'll keep it at somewhere of about 56%. Nice. Yeah, 56% looks good to me. And then the shadows, hue and shadow saturation. As you can tell, the shadows here are all being modified, but we do not want this to be like a really big deal for it. I want it to be a little bit subtle. I do not want way too much of it. Keep this a little bit bluish, okay, just to make it stand out a little bit, but obviously not way too blue, otherwise the mismatch will actually strike. So 8% seems nice to me. Okay, I'll try to keep the colors consistent. I do not want way too much change of the surroundings compared to the shadows. So yeah, I think that one looks nice. And then the balance over here is basically just how everything is being balanced out. So the lower the value, basically the more imbalanced it is. But for me personally, I want it to be something of about 30, 40%. No, 10%, maybe. You know what? Let's just carry on and we'll come back to that later. Oh, that's already done. Okay. All right. So for me personally, I will just reduce the balance a little bit. No, actually increase a little bit. If you hold control and try to scroll in with your mouse, you will be able to zoom in. So I kind of actually like that. All right. So if you're actually done with all of the color editing here, there are a few more options. You could zoom, the red eye removal, the blemish removal, overlay paint tool, basically if you want to overlay stuff. If you want to fix the changes that are done with the overlay paint tool, the gradient, the crop, the white balance. Personally, for me, there's not much more that I really want to change, except maybe the temperature of the white balance a little bit. Yeah, I think that one would look a little bit better at 5,000 and I don't know, 70 Kelvin maybe. Yeah, that looks a whole lot better to me. All right, so this was all of the pre-processing for me. And basically, I did not do any more changes here. Now let's hit the develop and we will go into the post-processing zone, which is literally just the exact same thing, except that we have a whole lot more options to play around with. So let's actually get started on this. So over here, for the levels, you want to hit the default, and then you could see a few things. So you want to change the levels according to your personal taste. So black level, if you decrease it, it will make it a whole lot darker the more the value gets, and just as clear as possible inside. And for me personally, I think in the post-processing, I will keep the black level at about, I don't know, like 8% seems nice, 7% perhaps. Yeah, 7% looks good. And the white, the less it goes, the whiter it gets, even too much to the point that it just breaks the colors, but it's not what we want. So I don't really want to change much of the white, maybe even just make it a little bit darker. I'm not sure. Yeah. That looks nice. And the gamma, it's a little bit darker, brighter. You don't want it to be that dark. You don't want it to be this bright either. So yeah, I think here we'll put 1.2%. Yeah, I kind of like that right now a little bit. Again, this is just personal preference. If you don't like it that way, you could always just modify it as you want. So let's just carry on with the video. All right, now if we actually go here to the blend mode, you can see there's a darken, multiply that really darkens things up, color burn, not exactly, linear, darker color. It's exactly the same thing, lighten brightens things up a little bit. Oh, I think I actually like the lighting more. All right, and after that, again, more white balance editing to do. If you recall, we wanted something a little bit warm, so we definitely don't want to make this like super yellow, but something like 8% looks nice, and tint will tint it ever so slightly, depending on where exactly you want to stop. Personally, for me, I want something a little bit pinkish, and we want to, yeah, we do definitely want to darken it a little bit. Yeah, kind of like that right now. Well, a little bit, honestly. Hue saturation layer, hue saturation luminance. How about if you just mess around with these, as you could probably tell from the image, it will change based on the color that you're standing on. So for me, I want a little bit of 10 degrees of hue, 5 degrees maybe. How about 55? Let's see what kind of major changes happen here. Look, like that's a whole lot different. 5 degrees, okay. 8. 8 looks nice. Here you could actually completely eliminate or keep some red. That's completely up to you. That's the saturation slider for that. But for me personally, I want to eliminate just a little bit of red. So -6% luminosity. It's just how bright or dark. So I think I'm going to keep this at the same thing maybe. Let's actually just have a look here. Couldn't really decide. I think I'll just keep it a little bit lightened as well. Yeah, that looks nice to me. Recoloring, no, I don't want to touch that. It will just mess things up. Black and white, don't want to touch that either. Brightness and contrast. Brightness, want to get a little bit of a punchy color maybe. Or no, I definitely don't want to go like very dark. So that looks nice. Now for phosphorizing it, okay, nope, definitely don't want to do that. So Control Z. And okay, how about the vibrance? How vibrant could it possibly get? So it's like 100% vibrant. I think I'll do like, I don't know, 55% seems nice. Yeah. Yep, -20% and 55% of this. Okay, exposure. Okay, now that's way too much. That's way too little. You definitely don't want to go in the extreme of both. About 0.5 looks nice. No, I think I'll go with 0.3 maybe. Hmm, not exactly sure, but let's see what happens next. No, I don't want to go for two stops. Shadows. Okay, yeah, no. For shadows in the post processing, I want them to stay the same. Okay, maybe no, not exactly much brighter. I don't know, like no, 35%. Okay, maybe highlights. We want to don't want to like give it a big hit, but I think yeah, 8% looks nice to me. Threshold. I have no idea what this is, but let's actually give it a try. Okay, no, I'm not playing with something that I do not fully understand yet. How are the colors in the post-processing? Whoa, okay. Yeah, here it looks a little bit nice. I kind of like the colors on that. Red. No. Oh, wow, okay. Now I think I will keep my master at that. Okay. Just like it was earlier before. Hopefully spot on. Okay, we'll keep this like that. Channel mixer, red, green, and blues. Okay. Yeah, no, we do not want it to be this far. Okay, no, that is a little bit way too much, right? Well, 95%. Yeah, 95% looks fine to me. And over here, we do have, this is a whole lot blue, this is a whole lot red. Yeah, negative 10% looks fine to me. And for the blues, yeah, negative 6% looks good. Oh, damn, that's a really strong flare. Yeah, I kind of like that one. For offset, um, let's see what 1% does. Not really sure. I do not want to seem a little bit too harsh of a try, but I think I do like that one. That's exactly the challenge about color grading is that you just never know what exactly works unless you have way too much practice. I'm not touching the gradients. Selective colors, cyan, okay. Okay, that is just a whole lot better with a little bit of cyan, to be honest. 50% looks good. Magenta, let's just set that to 40%. I like exact numbers. How about 65%? That looks good to me. How about black? Oh, damn. Okay. No, that's just way too bright, way too hard of a try. No. Okay, let's keep that -27%. I did like that number. Yep, kind of like that one. The color balance here. Could have sworn that we were just playing with that right now. Okay. Yep, that looks really nice. That looks way, way better than what it was earlier. Darken, multiply, nope, color burn, linear burn, darker color. How is this a whole lot darker? You literally just get it right there. No, in this case, I actually like the, no, I actually just like it that way. I don't want to do any sort of mixes. Lighter, okay, or a soft light, maybe. Now it's really starting to turn into a fantasy world. Nope. Linear, thin, light, hard mix. Definitely not a hard mix. Difference, exclusion, subtract, divide, hue, saturation. I kind of like the saturation. Okay, no, I'm not just gonna, that's just way too much time right now. Invert, um, nope, definitely not an invert. Okay, we're not touching that. Soft proof, okay, nope, definitely not. Lookup tables, we're not using any LUTs. I'm not interested in LUTs right now. Lens filter, oh damn, that looks really nice. Okay, let's just a little bit way too orange. Pretty sure that I had no filter on my lens when we took this image, but hey, yo. Yeah, I kind of like that one. Like, I really like that one. Split toning, what exactly is that? Okay, let's increase the saturation. Hmm, that looks nice. Shadow saturation, okay, nope. Way too punchy. Yep, I kind of like that one. All right, OCIO, what exactly is that? Let's have a look. Okay, there's nothing here. Now I just found it like that way. Okay, layers, these are all the layers that are set. So basically there's like the split toning over a level of the white balance, and that's basically everything that we have added here. Anything that you have touched will basically be in the layers effect. Now let's talk about the effects. So over here, Gaussian blur, perhaps. I don't know what exactly that does. Reserve alpha doesn't do anything. Outer shadow, inner shadow, no thanks. Outer glow, no. Okay. Inner glow. I am genuinely not sure if we want an inner glow or not, but let's see if we could actually see anything about this. It doesn't do anything. Outline, perhaps. Nope, nothing. Turn that off. Turn it on. Absolutely nothing. 3D. No, I don't want anything 3D. Bevel embossing. I'm sure these settings have something that's just not here right now. Maybe it's a 3D effect for some reason. Color overlay. Color red. Let's see what that does. Nothing. Okay, just turn that off. Gradient overlay. Oh, styles. These are different styles. Stock. All right. So yeah, that pretty much looks like the final image. So the last thing that I want to do is actually to integrate my own copyright signature. If you don't know how to create your own copyright signature, I will leave a link in the comment section down below to another video that I found which has helped me out. But for me personally, I just want to go here and where does it say place? Yep, place. And then we go to the Canon EOS 90D. Watermark Affinity, we want to place this somewhere here. Okay, we definitely don't want it to be that big. It's actually not recommended. Like if I were to be like having class or something, what I would do is I would just like create an array duplicate of this all over here, which I'm not willing to do right now, but you probably get the idea. And then you have the opacity of the color itself, which is over here. All right, the fill opacity. Personally for me, I would usually like, I don't know, keep it so subtle that it's not very visible, but yet we also want to like, have something that says, hey, this is our work. So 40% is just a little bit way too low for me. How about 40%? Yeah, that looks about right to me. All right, so yeah, this will be the final image. So the final step that will need to be taken is to just go here, file, export, and over here we do not want the quality to be 100% because truth be told, the quality 100% to literally just go for 40 megabyte, and this is just because you are literally importing it in RAW. But for majority of the cases, 90 or 95% will be perfectly fine. And as you can tell, the size has fallen from 40 to 7.63. So if you do the mathematics for that, that's like, I don't know, like 82, 83% of loss. And if you remember, I did mention something about an ICC profile earlier. You want to set this to sRGB, especially if you are importing this to other folders. After you press close, it will recalculate it. It's exactly the same size. So for an image, I will just be exporting it in JPEG format and just hit the export button over here. So let's go over here. Let me just follow this. Yeah, image 0509, color green. Now that it's actually done exporting, then I think that we could stop the screen sharing. That's about it for this long video. I hope you guys have actually found this useful. If you did, please make sure that you hit the like and subscribe down below. And thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.